performance, before I do the performance testing, we've gone through the prevention testing in cricket. So what was our objective when we did this? I'm going to go through the test first because I've been told that I have a limited amount of time to go through this. So basically, our whole objective, I heard the presentations yesterday and how the relation of strength and conditioning, data collection in India, and also to analyze the data and to get the data, especially where India being a huge country, to reach to the most remotest places, because cricketers from around the country come from the most unexpected places. Now, obviously, technology is one thing which is not readily available everywhere, right? There are a lot of constraints when we talk about technology, and to get technology across to all the places also gets very, very difficult. So the whole performance testing, before I'm going to talk through this and then I'm going to summarize it in the end. The performance testing, obviously we've got the prevention testing, which we do first, and then it follows up with the performance testing. We have five tests which are predominantly within the gym arena, and then we have also the field tests to carry on with that. We're looking at pull-ups, Sorensen hold, cable staggered stance rows, standing long jump, lunge calf raise, 10-20 meter yo-yo test, and of course we also have a 1 mile run. When we look at, I don't think I need to talk too much about what a pull-up test is and what does it help evaluate. We're looking at obviously relative upper body strength when we're doing the pull-up. We're looking at core engagement. We're looking at the posture. We're looking about asymmetries, right, between the scapular dysfunctions. We're looking at also the pulling strength. Just to give you an idea of what we look at a strict pull-up as much as we can, and we try to also look at hip flexion if there's also any involvement of the deep neck flexors. Moving on, obviously I've spoken what we need to look at because I'm not going to go through much through this, but what are we looking at? We look at as I said, the scapular dyskinesis, whatever that is happening, inability to keep a neck, if our deep neck flexors are being involved. And obviously at the end of it, we look at the number of reps that we can do. Again, we have not been able to come up with a number to how many reps actually stop something or how many reps is really good, right? We know one. There's someone who might be able to do 5 and yet be an excellent cricket player, an excellent bowler, and someone who might be able to do 20 and might not be able to throw the ball. Next one is the Sorensen hold, where we're looking at the posterior chain strength. The important thing, what we look at is, again, when we're doing the test, is the engagement of the core. We're looking at the engagement of the hamstring and the glutes predominantly, right? And also the activation of the paraspinal muscles. Now, with the setup position, obviously we look at it any simple bench, right? Where we make sure that the AIS is just outside the bench, right? And we get the person to hold in an isometric position, and we then count the time, right? Just to give you a brief. So we ensure that the AIS are just outside the bench. We hold the test and we get the athlete to hold the position. Again, we look at a maximum time of 2 minutes, but any time through the test the athlete feels that they're feeling it at any part of the back, we tend to say, right, when I say the back, I mean the lumbar spine or any part of the spine, we say we cease the test, right? And we count the time, we note it down. Moving on, again, the observations, we look at a neutral spine, the engagement of the posterior chain, and the ability to hold for as long as possible. The cable staggered stance, this is one of the tests which we have developed at the NCA, along with my colleagues from NCA, and of course at the helm of the sports science, about a cable stagger. So we understood the importance of we were talking about the spiral chain. So you understand that how our game demands a lot of rotation. There were a lot of talks about rotation happening in all the presentations that I saw, and almost all the sport demands rotation, whether it's tennis, whether it's discus throw, whether it's bowling, whether it's batting. So we have spoken about that. So the entire thing was to understand the engagement of the posterior spiral chain, starting from the lats to the glutes, how the lats on one side affects the glute on the other side, which needs to hold in place so that we understand what is the ability of the athlete to maintain those strength levels while they're doing the game with the engagement of the TLF, right? Just to give you an idea of how the test looks like. So it's like a 5 rep test max. And again, something which we have developed trying to understand what is the relation of that lats and whether there's a difference between right and left. We understood that there is a slight difference. If I go back to my prevention testing where I said that the right-hander bowlers or the right-hander dominant people were stronger on the right side, we found a similar chain here that a right-hander bowler was a little stronger on the right hand and the left-hander bowler was a little stronger on the left hand. But again, we haven't been able to come up with a number yet because we're still collecting data, right? I'm trying to understand that what exactly is the number which could help prevent injury or which could help performance. There's a whole thing about we need to understand there's a game of skills. That's the most important part in game of cricket. And then we need to keep understanding that each individual is obviously different. So obviously there has to be individualistic approach to training each individual when we are coming up with training plans for anyone in cricket. Standing long jump is of course a performance test again, where we're looking at horizontal propulsion. We're looking at the power ability of the athlete. We mostly, I'll go through straight to the demo, sorry. So again, there should be a demo, right. Standing long jump, I think the demo video has not come up. So, but whatever, standing long jump, we're looking at again the horizontal propulsion because obviously there's a lot of linear sprinting in cricket, accelerations that we look at. So obviously it gives us an idea of what is the power output of the lower limbs of the athlete. Right? What are we looking at? We're looking at the athlete to stand in a static position and then jump as far as possible. From a static position, we measure the distance based on obviously when the athlete comes, especially if we go to our the baseline data of when we come back to our camp data that we have collected and also a few of the other international athletes that we've collected. We've got a baseline data that we've collected, and yet we're still working on it to how to improve on it and how it can give us an idea of what is the best outcome of that test. The lunge calf raise is another one which we actually wanted to find out the importance of the soleus muscle. I know the lunge calf raise, a lot of people might argue with me that saying, or argue to the fact that it does involve the calf a lot, but of course our game also demands us to do a lot of things on a split stance, especially if we're doing, when we're bowling or even when we're playing a front foot defense, when we're trying to throw, when you're doing a change of direction, there's a lot of unilateral movements happening, and the soleus as a stabilizer works as one of the most important factors when playing the game or moving on the ground. So obviously we wanted to decide, so that's the standing long jump first before it goes. So that's what we do for the standing long jump. We measure the distance and we keep it as a record, and we do a maximum of 3 reps, and then we take the best rep we take an average and we also take the best rep as a marker for us. So that's the lunge calf raise that we do. So we try to maintain a 90-90 in both our knees. We go up and down on that. And hold, right? Obviously, video, so we can try and look up and down in it instead of holding. We also do a maximum rep count rather than a hold. So when we do a prevention testing, we look at an isometric hold, and we're doing the performance test, we're looking at the number of numbers. Now, a lot of people might argue over here that why are we doing this test, because there has been presentation about using a jump mat, a chrono jump. Our objective when we designed these tests, our objective was predominantly to understand and get this test across, which could be done easily anywhere and everywhere. If I was to ask any one of you to do this test, maybe when you're sitting at home, you possibly don't need any other technological, anything of technology to do these tests. Coming, especially as I said, in India, it's a huge country. To get data is one of the things that a lot of people will argue, oh, we don't have technology, we don't have this, we don't have the facility. What we found out that a cable crossover is something which was readily available in all the states, in all the districts, even the remotest village. A lunge calf raise, you could do it anywhere. A pull-up, you could just hang in a bar anywhere and get the test done. Right? A Sorensen hold, you can lie down on your bed and do it. Our idea was to collect as much data as possible for us to then interpret that data to get performance and prevention-oriented goals from those data. I heard yesterday someone talk about how difficult it was to collect data in India. The test over here, our presentation, I know we could have come up with a lot of numbers, but the idea was not to get numbers. We didn't want to jump into numbers first. We wanted to first gather the data from within the country before we could make it a considerable change and a consolidated presence of those numbers with objective data in front of you. So at the moment, our current objective is to get this to trickle down to the most remotest places, be easily accessible to all without any technology and without needing a lot of rocket science to understand how to do it. And that's what, when we said some data is better than no data. So we're getting to collect something or the other. That was the whole objective of the prevention and the performance test for the cricketers in India that were designed from the National Cricket Academy. Thank you very much.
Thank you.